Summer Heat Boxing Series, Cheyenne, Wyoming. We got our next show coming up July 17th. You guys got to be sure to come out and support. We have a card stacked full of talent, a lot of good fighters on this card. And on this card, I have the pleasure of interviewing one of Colorado's warriors that always comes to put on a show. Let me introduce you to Isaac Johnson. How you doing, Isaac? How's it going?
Man, it's going good. I'm happy to be alive right now.
Awesome, brother. Awesome, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the show and talk a little bit about what's going on, what's coming up. But for those of you people that haven't gotten the pleasure to see Isaac in the ring, he's full of action. He's a fan-friendly fighter. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, Isaac, and how'd you get started in boxing?
Yeah, so I'm actually one of the few that's from Colorado Springs, born and raised here. I went to college in Nebraska, and believe it or not, I was only like 104 pounds, but I got a scholarship. And knowing that I'm probably not going to see the field and probably just keep getting hurt and get concussed, I ended up finding MMA. And so I ended up falling in love with that, and I started training. And within about like 6 months, I had my first fight. And just like having my very first fight, it ended in a knockout. And so that was like the best feeling I've had. And I just kept rolling on with that, and did that for about 8 years. And then I wanted to just try my hand at boxing. And so I tried to just see what I could do with my hands. Because most of the time, as I start getting more and more fights, the more fights I got, all I was doing was wrestling guys. I would even ask guys at the weigh-ins, I'll tell them like, yo, please, man, let's put on a show. Let's just throw the hands. Because almost every time I would go out to touch gloves with them, I get they'll shoot for a takedown. And I would always just be like, man, like I don't want to wrestle. Like that, it's just not my style. And so I tried my hand at boxing, and yeah, I love it. It's just we've been going on from that ever since.
Good deal. So you started with MMA, and now you're doing boxing. Tell us, what do you think? What's the difficult part of each one? What do you find difficult that's harder in boxing that is not as difficult in MMA, and vice versa?
So with MMA, obviously you got like so many disciplines, so many things you got to learn, so many things you got to be aware of, so many strikes coming at you from all different angles. I mean, whether it's elbows, knees, legs, hands, and then you got to worry about the ground. So then you're worrying about wrestling, grappling, cage work, clinch work, Muay Thai. There's just so much more that you got to kind of invest in, see yourself pretty much helping perfecting your style on whatever you want to try to be well at. But then when you get to the higher levels, you're going to realize you got to be rounded in everything. One of the main things I could really take away from boxing, though, is the cardio, because a lot of MMA, they like set things up. So a lot of the punches aren't 100% until they are trying to pick you apart to find that one big shot that they want to land. As far as boxing, most of the guys, at least I went against and that you see on TV, is the guys that got stiff, popping their jabs, and everything that they're throwing is with bad intentions. Everything that they throw is to try to knock you out. So I would say the cardio, even though it goes from 3 minutes in a professional boxing match per round to a 5-minute round in MMA, I feel like the cardio is a lot more grueling in boxing. Yeah. Gotcha. So, I mean, but that's one of the main things I've always focused on. I mean, the thing I love about this fight is that I'm not cutting weight for this fight. I've always walked around about 170, and I cut all the way down to as low as 133 in some of my fights. And I think my last fight was at 148. And I mean, I was still probably walking around about 170, and having to cut that much weight, and it kind of like tore my cardio, but I still felt good. I still pushed myself for I believe that was 4 rounds. But I mean, I've even pushed myself in 6 rounds to the point where I was losing 17 pounds the day before, just because I've been so used in MMA to cutting so much weight that the coaches that I had at the time, that was the best legitimate way for me to try to fight. But knowing that like my cardio was always like in the back of my head if I'm really gonna be able to withstand. But luckily for me, I've been able to go the distance in every single one of my fights and not been knocked out yet. So I plan on
Good,
keeping
good.
that hope
Good.
going.
So now you're training down in Colorado Springs. Tell us a little bit about your training camp and your trainers and your gym. A little shout out to your gym and coaches.
Yeah, big shout out to Terry Butterball, man. He like I remember it was so I tried to get into MMA again. I was actually with COVID happening, I was going to try to I lost my job and I was going to go to a gym because I've always was working like crazy hours, 12 to 16-hour days, and I never had the time or energy to go to a gym. And then it's kind of a blessing for me that the COVID happened for the sake of me being able to find a job now that I could adjust my time, my schedule, where I could actually go in there and fight, go to the gym every day and get the right proper training in that I need to. So I was going into an MMA gym and it just, man, they were trying to charge just way too much. And like, there wasn't really no one in there that was going to like, I felt like was going to get me to that next level. So I was like, you know what? Like, I need to fight. I need to get back into shape. I found Terry Butterball over there at Old School Boxing. And that was I remember it was on New Year's Day. And ever since then I was locked and loaded. So the training camp is for anybody that doesn't know, this fight has actually been in the process. This is the third time we're going at it for it. So the first time we were scheduled on February 13th, and that's the day right before my baby's birthday. It was going to be her first birthday. And yeah, I wanted to bring her home a knockout and just try to give her something that she could always remember. And that fight got scratched due to complications with the COVID restrictions. And then we rescheduled it again for what was it, May 1st?
Yep.
And then that show got booked. I mean, unfortunately, he caught COVID, which I hope the best. I mean, I hope he's recovered from that because I don't wish COVID on anybody. I don't have any enemies or anything like that, but I really wish I don't want anybody to catch that stuff because from some of the grueling stories I've heard, some of the people I've actually known personally that passed away from it, I never want to, I want people to bounce back from that. So that fight was scratched, and here we are now for the third time to get the ball rolling.
Good. What do you know about your opponent going into this fight? I mean, obviously, like you said, it was booked twice before, and due to unlucky circumstances, it's been booked. But now, the fans are looking forward to it. It's a good matchup. Everybody, there's a buzz going on behind this matchup. A lot of people,
like that.
they the people that know boxing and know you and know Javier, they know that this is not going to be a walk in the park. This is going to be a war. And
Oh yeah,
a little bit about that matchup.
I'm excited. Like honestly, I like fighting tall guys. The taller the better for me because I like, I'm short. So just watching the Javante Davis fight last night, it kind of like the same like size dispenses, whereas pretty much what we're gonna go into. I know he's tall. Like I said in one of the posts, I was just trying to like troll a little bit. And I was just like, the guy's prettier hair than me. He's taller than me. Probably has a lot like, longer limbs than me. He's undefeated. I mean, I know in the beginning of the stages of your career, you can't really base things off of that, but I do expect this one to be one of the fights that I come back from and I try to prove myself to let everybody like reintroduce myself, show everybody who I am again. And I really have a really great coach, great training partners, and I feel very ready. Like if this was to happen last night, if this was to happen weeks ago, I would be just as prepared and ready. But yeah, I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from him. looking back, like I said, on my box rec, if you see all my fights, I mean, they've all been against top prospects. They've all been out of town. And I mean, I've got kind of like the worst end of a lot of decisions. And so that's why I'm just making
Yeah,
sure like this is
I
going to
can
be a war,
attest.
but I do.
I could attest to that. Definitely, I've seen. I've seen you fight plenty times, and so Isaac. I mean, I'm a fan.
Yeah, right on.
I love your style. I love you go in there. You put it. You pour all your heart into it, and I'll tell you what. There's been a lot of controversial decisions didn't go your way, but if anybody has seen has seen you in the ring, they'll know that you come and you're gonna you're here to take that W. You're not gonna lay down for sure. And shout out to Terry Buterball out there in Colorado Springs. He's a vet. He's an old school. Just like his team says, old school boxing. He's old school training. I know him very well. He's a good friend of ours, and I'm glad you guys are gonna be part of this show. And so as far as training camp, how has training camp gone? Like you said, you were ready for this. You could have done this yesterday. You could do this next week. Tell us a little bit about your training camp and your sparring partners and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so we got a good amateur coming up who actually like his stylistically is almost just like Javier from some of the fights that I've seen Aragon in. I mean, I'm like a creep, but when I find out I got to fight, even if it's just a name that's been tossed out there that I know may not even work, I still like YouTube them and I still try to figure out like how my style is going to match up against them, what I'm going to do against them. So like when Javier's name got sent at me, that's what I did. I found my girl, big shout out to Candace. She was able to find all kinds of stuff on him. So we got like videos that I don't even know if he knows that's out there. But we found some videos, and I got a training partner right now, Frank Martinez. He's an amateur right now, just fighting the Golden Gloves. And yeah, like it's same height, about same reach. I mean, it kind of got similar styles. So that's really been one of the big advantages I have coming in to this fight. He's going to turn pro here soon, and he's someone to look out for sure. We got the Montorias out there that's training with us. Them are some hard-nosed hitters. I mean, Jeremy Ramos is out there that we're training with, sparring with. We got guys coming from all over the place. I mean, any given day there could be someone like a superstar. Not for this camp, but I mean, Adrian Broner's been a big, big name that's always came into our gym, and he's close with Terry out there as well. So we get guys that are coming from the Olympic Training Center, getting ready for the Olympics, getting ready for just WCAT, the military squad. And yeah, we got guys coming in all the time. So there's never a shortage of who we are sparring, what we're doing, and how we're doing it. So yeah, the fight camp has been really great. Like I've been learning a lot more. I've been digging more deep into myself about realizing what I'm really truly made of. Because say ring rust and talking about like how that's affected me personally, I think it's all in your head. And one of the biggest things I've always had in these fights that I go into, reason why I feel like I'm one of the fan favorites, is because I don't give up, and my mental is always going to push me to go that extra round, extra minute that I need to, and just give my all. Like I know I can rest after. I mean, if you really think about it, 15 minutes doesn't seem that long of a fight, but to me,
yeah,
I'm going to be able to like just pour it all into it. And, looking at my record, none of the decisions go my way. So that's why I have to go in there, and no disrespect to him and no one disrespect to no one. I got to knock him out though. Like that's the only way that this ends in my favor. Judges in the ring don't ever work out for me. Judges outside the ring don't ever work out for me. So
motto live by is don't leave it to the judges, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you
yeah.
never
No,
do that.
it's and it's all love, it's all respect for sure. So I mean, there's nothing negative taken by you saying, hey man, I got to go in there and knock this guy out. That's the fighter's mentality, and you got a lion's heart. You got a and it shows when you fight. There's no quitting. Yeah, and so we people that know you, we don't expect anything less. We know you're going to go in there and try to knock this guy out. And how many rounds are you guys going?
This is a 5-rounder. So 5 rounds, I mean, I'm cool with that. I like 6, but 5, we could do 5. 5's okay.
Good deal. Good. Yeah. And so now you've named a lot of good guys out there in Colorado Springs. We're all familiar with all those guys. Montoya's, they're hard nosed, tough guys. They've always they bring a good element for training camp. If you're sparring with them, they're always good people to get work with. The same thing with Jeremy Ramos. Jeremy Ramos goes back, is one of the top. He was one of the top prospects and still remains a very dangerous boxer in the state of Colorado. But he was definitely very familiar with Jeremy Ramos, all those guys from the WCAP. So you're surrounded with talent that'll give you good work now. You're in a good position with good training, good a good team behind you to push you. What can your fans expect? Come July 17th.
Just fireworks, man. I'm living up to my name now, like the firecrackers. So I'm coming out there to just explode and put on a show, because I used to get people coming up to me, and I would have hundreds of friend requests after. So I had to make a little Facebook like fan page for all that, just because people would add me and I had no idea who they were. Especially if I go out of state, I'd have all these people that I never will keep in contact with or anything like that, but they would became fans because they knew, like, even in fights I was hurt, I was still coming at you. And like my poker face, I feel, is one of the best in the game. So even if he does hurt me, and I'm expecting him to, like, he's gonna land some shots. I'm willing to take risk in this fight in order to get the job done, because I think still around a little bit of me back in the days, I didn't take that chance. I didn't really actually explode like I know how to. I didn't put that pop behind all my jabs. And now this is like, it's just a whole new me. So fans and everybody could expect just like a whoa, like, what was that? Like, who is this guy? Like, he didn't look like that. And I'm hoping, bring one back for the old guys where, yeah. So I'm turning 30. I'm already 30, but I'm, boxing's a young man's game. But
so your nickname, your ring name. Tell everybody what's your ring name again.
Yeah, it's the Firecracker.
There you
Isaac
go.
the Firecracker.
And man, that's the perfect name coming for it's a show right after the 4th of July. So there's definitely gonna be fireworks, huh?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I put in my little my little pin for this fight, for my little I guess my advertisement is that the show is going to go on even after the 4th of July, and there's going to be fireworks even more so in the ring than there is probably like outside. I feel loose. I feel Terry. I trust Terry 100%, and I know he's gonna give me the right instructions, and whatever he sees that he sees that is an advantage for me, he's gonna say, and I'm gonna let it go. And back in the day, I used to be a little hesitant, and I have no hesitation anymore. Like the guys that I'm sparring with, I take those chances, and most of the time it works out for me. So I don't see why it wouldn't work out for me when the lights are on. So yeah.
Awesome. No, man, that's great, man. We look forward to it. It's definitely going to be a good show. Any shout outs, anything you want to say to your fans? Any social media you want to let people know where they can follow you and then get information on what's coming up?
Yeah, so just Facebook. I got my Facebook, Isaac Johnson. I have the fan page, but I really don't even get on that anymore. But that's under the Firecracker. I got Instagram. I'm trying to get more active on that. Like, I'm kind of bad when it comes to all this social media. I'm trying to get more active with it, kind of get a little bit more buzz, because my goal is not to be like a world champion, but I do want to kind of rebirth myself and give myself a new legacy and something that I could live on forever, and tell my girls to never give up. And to go for anybody, like, to never give up on anything. When people tell you that you might be too old, you might be too fat, just keep going, because you you will always overcome something if you put your mind to it. So, shit, I'm one of those ones I gave in. I got a TikTok too. I think it's Johnson 719. I post a lot of stuff on that. Like I run my own business, making t-shirts and whatnot, trying to make apparel. So I always kind of put like little things in there from that. If you guys are into anything that you want to see or get, hopefully I get some equipment in time for the fight so I could get some nice flashy shorts, because I'm sure Javier is probably going to have nicer shorts than me in this fight too. So I got to do something good and show out somehow, some way.
Hell yeah, definitely, man. Hey, you look good, you perform good, huh?
Right on. That's how, yeah, you got to.
Good deal, right on, man. So, do you do as a little side business? You do like t-shirts and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do. I'm trying to get like sponsors going again. Like it's just, I had like a malfunction with one of my machines, but now that that's up and going again, I'm going to try to start pressing out a lot more material for anybody. I mean, I want to start sponsoring fighters now. I want to start, just getting out there where I'm able to get people their last names on shirts, something local, something people could afford and all that too. Because sure, I said, I'm gonna come out there, with something that looks like the Goodwill, but it's gonna look good after I put all my little inks and stuff on it. But there's guys that come out. I mean, you watch all these guys on the big show, they're coming out with some flashy looking stuff, and so I got to start stepping my game up to making things look good for people and affordable.
Good deal, man. Well, right on. Well, we're looking forward to you, showcasing and putting on a show for everybody. And if anybody wants to get tickets, you could definitely, we're gonna put the link on the screen here at the end and make sure everybody can get tickets, come out and support, come out and watch some fireworks in the ring with a firecracker coming out and putting on a heck of a show. Appreciate you giving us the time, Isaac, and giving us a little glimpse of what's going on with you and your training camp and all that good stuff leading up to the fights. And we look forward to, you're showcasing your skills. And if anybody wants to, reach out to Isaac, he gave you his IG, he gave you all the good stuff. Reach out to him, let him know you're coming out to support. Everybody come on out and get tickets to Cheyenne, at the Red Lion Hotel and Conference Center, July 17th, the Summer Heat Boxing Series. Make sure you guys come on out and support. These guys are definitely going to come out and show. And anybody that's a boxing fan, hey, you're going to have a heck of a show. Thank you, Johnson, for your time, brother. Appreciate you, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate you for doing this and just getting me a little bit of a spotlight out there. So it means a lot. Thank you.
Definitely, man. You take care, brother. We'll see you July 17th.
Sounds good. Be easy.